This is Mixla Production. 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 This is Mixla Production.
Enigma. we're back.
The music keeps getting better and better, Drake. I applaud you.
Well, I can only thank all the people that do free beats on YouTube because we got in trouble the first episode.
I did. Got a big, fat copyright message as I was doing post-editing. Can I preface something really quick? I sound horrible on the mic. I have a cold, a nasty cold. I still feel like I can articulate my words well, but if I cough at any time during the show or I sneeze or if I have the urge to hit Drake, I'm just kidding.
No, she's not.
That's because of this nasty cold that's going around. I think the pollen count is so high in Oklahoma.
So high. Gotta be careful about that pollen count.
And ragweed. Anyway, that just goes without saying that I don't sound my best. Please forgive me. Hair's a mess.
We've had a long stretch of bad luck on shooting day with sickness. Me last week,
and then me the week before because I was sick. Like we just keep getting sick. I think we're not giving it to each other. Thankfully, we're just grabbing it from other people and bringing it back. Maybe it's this room. I feel like this room is plagued.
Bad luck. That's all right. That's all right.
Anyway, welcome back to Shoot Your Shot podcast. I'm Julia, and that is Drake. Welcome to episode 4, the last episode. We got tired.
Should we say the real reason? It was a big tease. Or should we wait?
Oh my God, what?
Should we? Should we say why?
Yeah.
It's just the last episode for this color scheme. It's fall, guys. It's fall.
It's fall, y'all.
It's not green and purple anymore. We're changing it to purple and orange.
I mean,
so
we're
next
still
week
gonna keep the overlays purple.
Yeah, and the overlays took a long time.
But this beautiful lighting we have behind us that lights us up so well, that's gonna change.
It's just gonna be a little different.
We want to be cute, cozy vibes up in here, and green's not doing it.
You don't want to see the same setup every time.
Yeah, just like our outfits and our hair and my dark circles under my eyes because I'm tired and I'm sick.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I had to point that out so no one judges. Drake.
We have some business to get to.
We do.
I don't know if you guys can see the whiteboard. I just wanted to let everyone know, for people that both are new to this and people that are returning, that we do a little bet each week, college football related. We don't do like covers or any of that. We just pick up straight up winner. It's more fun that way. But I will note, my team, all the teams that I did pick have covered, even though that's not what we're judging. So yeah, our last bet was against Oregon versus BYU. BYU coming off of a great win versus Baylor last week. I thought this was an easy bet for me. BYU coming off of a high emotional game, having to go up to Eugene and play a top 25 ranked Oregon team who got walloped in week 1 versus Georgia. I'm sure a lot of people would have picked BYU just based off of recency bias and seeing that Oregon lost to Oregon lost to Georgia.
Hand.
But
I was one that
Oregon basically won that thing in the first half. It was pretty much over. The score got a little close at the end, but congrats to Dan Lanning in Oregon. You tell them a little bit more about your sickness while I get the remedy ready.
Oh, I just came down with a nasty cold, and I really didn't get to watch much football this weekend.
Yes, Kobe, we can read the comments.
Oh, he said shave the stash. Great suggestion. How about no? Anyway, not only was I down with a cold, I had to be outside for most of the weekend covering football and soccer, so that didn't make it any worse. So here we are, sounding terrible, but that's okay.
You're sounding terrible.
I did say we. I am. Drake sounds...
I sound great. Are you... I know. Nathan, I was just about to say that. Are you down with the sickness? Okay, here we go. You ready? Oh, by the way, for those of you who are new, we can't double up on flavors. So I know which ones, even though I haven't erased them yet. Sorry, we were kind of pressed for time.
Before you spin, you didn't say. I picked Brigham Young to win. I lost. Brigham Young was number 12 going into that game, and Oregon was number 24, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they got whooped. I'm not very good at this game. I don't know why.
No, Oregon was 25.
25. They were the last of the pack.
They won 41-20. Okay, you ready? You don't get the same flavor, and you're just straight shooting. Here we go.
Ready.
Ghost pepper.
That doesn't sound promising. Yet again, another flavor Drake's not happy with, and it's probably not going to be hot.
Extra, what is it? Extra
I can't read it.
hot cayenne.
Okay, don't
Not-
be
not-
so
it's-
sure it won't be hot.
It's not more than what it was last week. And by the way, I know you played. You had a good face on last week, but I knew it was hot.
Listen, I didn't just put a drop on my tongue like most people would do. I downed half of the bottle.
Straight shot it
Straight shot at it.
like
And
a
listen-
champ,
Like a champ.
like a freaking champ.
And I didn't cough. I didn't cry. I didn't shed a tear. I wasn't sweating. I did stumble on a few words just because my lips were tingling. But that's not going to be the case now. Because I can't really taste much just because of the allergies. So this should be a breeze. For anybody watching, wondering why this is my third time having to consume hot sauce, I'm just not very good at sports betting, and I never claimed to be a great sports bettor. I won't apologize. I was continuing to pick the underdog. That blew up on my face. Picked the ranked team to win. Drake didn't, and obviously he came away with the win on his bet. So here we are.
I would like to preface this by saying I'm really glad that. Let me make sure.
This should clear your
I would
sinuses.
like to preface by saying I'm really glad sports gambling in Oklahoma isn't a thing because I'd be really freaking good at it.
Someone said, Julia, you sound amazing. That is so nice because I was a little stressed out going into this because I do sound a little nasally and it's not cute. But we're not here to be cute. We're here to be informative and factual and fun.
Yeti fell.
The
Yeti fell.
IFF.
This
should.
I should also note here. You open this while I talk to my people. Okay, let me take this out. Let's have one-on-one time with Drake. Okay, it was a big week for Drake for a couple of reasons. Number one, I don't know if you can see the shirt I'm wearing right now.
I don't have fingernails for this.
Well,
I've been
you're
doing
gonna have
manual
to-
labor.
You have to make it work. Okay. I don't know if you see the shirt I'm wearing now. It's Iron Maiden, my favorite band of all time. They made an appearance. They made an appearance on Thursday at the BOK Center in Tulsa, and I was originally supposed to go with Grant and Blake, two people that won't be here tonight. Sadly,
And they all bailed.
they all bailed. They ended up not being. Listen.
What in the
Not everyone can afford amenities like me. Okay? It's kind of a perk of having a job already.
Drake, do you have a pocket knife?
No,
Can you just open it?
I'm not a
I
resident.
don't want to mess up my pretty nails.
Okay, but anyways, yeah. So I was out, and I had 2 days to find a replacement. Enter our resident vegan.
Who shall not be named?
Oh,
Resident
is that-
vegans. No, it has to be revealed after probably one of our an inaugural episode, like in the middle. We can reveal the resident vegan.
Anyways, I called upon the resident vegan, and she responded. I kind of gave away half of
Well,
population?
she could be something else, but we may be lying.
She might be an alien, honestly, for all
Or an
we know.
animal. Drake does like kinks like that.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought we couldn't say things like that on the air.
We can.
Interesting. There we go. It's
Well,
out.
I don't want to press the clap button because I don't know which one it is.
Grant's here.
Grant, welcome.
Grant is here. Okay, hold on. I gotta shake this. Grant, hello, my lovely brother. How was the fair? I saw the. Oh, I always get it on my hands. Okay.
Relax. I don't want it on my white sweatshirt. By the way, anybody knows what I'm wearing?
Hey. Oh, you know what? Hey, Kennedick, 22, whoever you are, who's plant based?
The resident vegan is plant-based.
Sounds
Sounds fun.
So the resident vegan, aka plant-based Kennedick 22, answered the call, and we ended up going on Thursday, having a
Great.
grand old time. I would like to note that
Oh, it stinks.
it's cayenne. It's cayenne.
I'm
Yeah,
using,
I always-
I'm using half of my note sheet to open this. Not
I always forget.
apologizing.
But we had corn dogs and root beer. It was magical. Oh, I bet. I love the root beer. It's my favorite
This
thing to
is
get at
so
the fair.
ratchet.
Okay, but we had a good time. It was Thursday. Trivium opened for them. It was Kennedick 22's first metal concert ever, so she kind of got like rite of passaged.
I heard that you got your shirt torn off and you were flung into the crowd.
I was. I did a little bit of crowd surfing. Is that what they call it? It was fun. Are we ready?
Wow.
Are we doing it? Hold
All
on.
right,
Hold on.
So if anybody can see, it's like a little vial. I don't put a dab on my tongue. I down half of it, and I save the rest for people that actually want to taste it.
We're double miking.
Cheers to clearing the sinuses.
It's very unhealthy. No wonder you're sick. Actually,
Invigorating.
this might actually help you clear out your sinuses.
Ooh.
Good. Well, listen, the Iron Maiden concert was fun. Don't get me wrong, but I'm gearing up. I'm gearing up for Tuesday because I'm doing it all again on Tuesday. Me and Nathan Cook, Big Nate in the chat, by the way, going to I Prevail on Tuesday. Nate, still haven't gotten tickets yet, but not really concerned about
Is
it.
that what the band's called?
I Prevail.
Speaking of I Prevail, did anybody see how I took that hot sauce?
I Prevail. Anyone see how I'm 3-0 in the bets so far?
I'd rather just down hot sauce and be cool at it. Anyway,
Okay.
you can take this sorry excuse of a hot sauce away. 3-0 for hot sauce consumption. I'll take a loss.
All right. Are we getting into it?
Get down to business.
Okay, so I would like to preface this by saying Julia didn't do her job this week. Hey, I know. Shocker. My co-partner not doing any work for this show. I know.
Listen.
It's crazy.
Listen, once again, I was scheduled to work Thursday through Saturday all throughout the night. So, yes, I had a scattered schedule to watch football. I picked a few favorites to watch, and I have them on my little note sheet that I tore with the hot sauce bottle. And I've got a few pointers for some.
Are you ready for the notes? Are you ready for the notes that we have? Okay.
Oh, of course.
Let's start with the most important game of the week, as always. Oklahoma, number 6, Oklahoma, taking a visit up to Lincoln, Nebraska. There was a lot of talk around this game, mainly because of the storied rivalry that they have. But I'm going to be honest. When I got into college football, I didn't get into that rivalry until like the tail end before Nebraska packed up and headed to the Big Ten. So I didn't really get to see like any of those classic games, like the 2000 game, the game of the century, stuff like that. So I didn't really get to catch the big sweeping view of like in the grandeur of the whole rivalry. But let me tell you, I know a lot of people that were picking Nebraska to not only cover, because I think the line was like OU 10.5, which is insulting, by the way.
Wait, who?
Really, really insulting, by the way.
Who?
I'm not going to name names.
I mean, are you sure you don't want to?
I know
Because
I know some of you were rooting against OU. That's
like
all I'm
some
going to
people
say.
in the chat. Should I call them out?
Yeah, OU came and went. What is that Julius Caesar quote? I came, I saw, I conquered. That's exactly what OU did. They won 49-14. Just a couple of excuse me. I'm going on my diatribe.
Sorry.
Just a couple of fun takeaways from that game. Reggie Bush and Urban Meyer from College Game Day, they predicted Nebraska to win. Urban Meyer looked high out of his mind. Not shocking. And Nebraska. Some people want Nebraska to be the next Urban Meyer to be Nebraska's next head coach. That's hilarious to me. That's hilarious if you
Why
ask
is
me.
that hilarious?
Well, because the guy takes bong rips on his yacht during the summer when he's not coaching. That's why it's hilarious. But anyways, next up, Nebraska scored on the first possession of the game and the last possession of the game.
So can I just offer this? I was actually watching this in the football press box. I picked this game to watch just a little bit while I had some time out of my weekend, my busy weekend. Someone made a comment, and I thought this was very accurate. OU just needed to toy with them. They were like, let's give them one touchdown in the beginning, let them feel good, and then just completely rip them apart the rest of the game, and then a little courtesy touchdown to end it, just to finalize it. Would you agree? I feel like that mindset says a lot about how OU wants to play, but that's just my spiel. And shout out to whoever said that comment in the press box. That really gave me some insight, and I used it today. You're welcome.
First time since 2007 that OU has won its first 3 games by 30+. It's been a while since we've seen. And listen, you can sit here and you can say, Drake, they've played 3 nobodies. One of them just happened to be a part of a Power 5 conference, the bottom of that Power 5 conference, by the way. And I can point to a whole lot of games where they've played nobody and the scores have been closer than it should have been. So you can only play who's in front of you. You can only play who you schedule. And OU's pretty much optimized that schedule up to this point. By the way, just a fun note for everyone that is across the pond, aka the plains, I guess, across the plains in Stillwater. OU leads the nation in tackles for loss at 32. OSU's tied for third with James Madison, I believe, a Group of 5 school. So yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about. I think we had a cue for something.
We do.
Which one was it? Oh yeah, just a little highlight. We don't really get to do highlights a lot on this show. Oh wait, no, it's not. Oh yeah, okay, I know what this is.
Let me go ahead and read it.
Yeah,
Can
go
I just
ahead.
read just because I don't get to do much on
Go
the
ahead.
show?
Go ahead.
It's a tweet. It says Gus Johnson got sick at halftime unless he was playing hurt during the first half. So it's the Joel Klatt solo show for the second half of OU Nebraska.
I wanted you to add this for 2 reasons. One, there's a fun little what's it called, superstition basically that OU fans have that every time Gus Johnson calls one of the games for OU, it kind of goes south real quick. We don't play as good when Gus Johnson calls, and it was just so funny because he left around the time that OU evened it up 7-7 with Nebraska, and he didn't come back for the rest of the game because he was under the weather. And so a lot of people may point to, oh, they only did so good because Gus went out.
I mean,
But I hate-
superstitions are real, but to be quite honest with you, that's a lousy.
You know what wasn't a
Excuse.
superstition? That score! They got killed.
Right.
They got killed. It wasn't even funny. It like Nebraska fans were OU put their subs in like through like a quarter of the way through the third. Like it wasn't even fun.
I accidentally just turned off our moving frame. But it's back on now.
Oh.
I just couldn't get rid of Gus Johnson.
I mean, it's hard. Gus is everywhere. He's in your dreams.
He's
And-
watching you.
Yep, he is. Okay. I think that's no. I had one more, didn't I? Is that everything?
That is everything.
Okay. All right.
Well, you know why it's everything? There were
Because-
going to be 3 OU highlights on the spread for this show, and Drake was like, "No,
We had to
that's
tune it down.
That's too much."
We had to tune.
Oh,
well,
is
listen,
it Drake?
We'll talk about it later. Let's get to the next game. What do you want to?
Okay,
I have something I want to say about this group of games, but if you have something to talk about with your team that you're
Yes.
choosing to support right now
Listen.
for God knows what reason at that.
if anybody has tuned into this show time and time again, they probably would recognize that I am an A&M fan, born and raised, have always been that way. If you couldn't tell by the hoodie, we're going for a very lax look today.
It's 96 degrees out here, by the way. It's
Under the
whatever.
weather, not feeling good. I'm not going to apologize. Great excuse to wear a really nice, expensive A&M hoodie. Shout out to my father. Listen, let's get down to the notes. Everybody knows A&M had a little tussle with Appalachian State the week prior, losing to a fellow Sunbelt contender. I don't even remember the final score of that game because I blocked it out of my mind. Do you remember?
I think it was like 17-14.
I believe that's correct. Anyway, A&M was down in the dumps, moving from a AP poll placement of 6 all the way down to 24. My goodness, that shocked the world. So going into this game, they're playing number 13 Miami. Now, I feel like a lot of people picked Miami. I didn't even look over the sports betting. I didn't even look who covered or what or over under. I didn't look at that. Didn't care. So going into this game, A&M had 4 players suspended.
Yeah, they did.
There were 2 critical defensive backs that were out that A&M needed. They were starters, I believe. They needed them that game. They were out due to player violations of protocol. So Jimmer Fisher was like, "You're out. Sit. We're not going to discuss anymore." And also on that note, Haynes King, A&M's starting quarterback before all this, so in the 2 games when they played, oh my gosh, who did they play first? I already forgot. I blocked that game out of my head too.
No, I don't even remember. I don't care about A&M.
Haynes King got the boot as starting quarterback, and Max Johnson got the start. Anyway, just to go over that game in a nutshell, A&M ended up winning 17-9. Miami basically survived off of field goals.
Well, they shot themselves in the foot
But
They-
so
I
they
think they- I think
survived
they were-
off of field goals.
They got to the red zone 3 or 4 times and
did.
couldn't convert.
They did. A&M's defense was still having issues.
No,
Jim
no, no. They defense was the only reason you guys won the game. I think it was your
No.
stellar offense.
But allowing to get to the red zone that much, I feel like that's just a little bit too much, especially playing Miami, who I feel like was ranked a little bit too high at 13 going into this matchup. But we won't talk about that.
Okay. just take my talking points. Why don't you?
No. Anyway, the running back Ainchain basically carried the entire team that game. He rushed for 88 yards on 18 carries with the critical 25-yard touchdown. Props to him, player of the game. Won't argue about that. But Max Johnson, as the runner-up for the quarterback position, getting the start that game because Haynes King just couldn't get the job done. He went 10 for 20 for 140 yards. I'm reading my notes. I didn't get to watch
No,
this
I'm
game.
laughing at the 10 for 20, and we're going to celebrate that.
As having to play against the number 13
listen,
team,
I forgot. We're talking about A&M, so the bar is significantly lowered.
it's a lot lower than it would be for OU.
So 10 for
Yes,
20 is
yes.
like, woo!
Yes.
Great.
This goes without saying, just to say the least. A&M had a little bit of a growth spurt, I feel like, in that game. They only jumped one spot just to number 23. Big whoop. My goodness. Number 24 to number 23. What do you have to say about that? Is it deserved to get one spot jump for beating a 13 team?
There's a reason why they beat a number 13 team and they only rose up one spot.
And I agree with you. I really do.
Okay, I'm gonna paint a bigger picture here about the SEC as a whole.
I'm ready.
I have been looking at Twitter yesterday, all of yesterday and today. I've heard a lot of people talk about OU and Texas and their move to the SEC and how it's going to be a struggle. They feel like these people that think they know football because the SEC is this different beast. The SEC is far and away the best conference in college football. And listen, at the end of the day, I agree with you. Yes, it is the best conference in college football, but don't get it twisted. It is not far and away the best conference in college football. It is top heavy, just like every other single conference in college football. Georgia and Alabama are the kings. And listen, everyone else,
Yeah, it's up for grabs. Georgia and Alabama will be the reigning for a while, and then you're going to have everybody else fighting for those next three.
and
four,
let me
five,
tell you,
six
and let me tell you
positions.
this. Let me give you some of the SEC scores from.
Okay, wait. Before we move on, I'm gonna play this horrible display.
What is this?
This is
What?
This is the A&M AP poll tweet that you sent me, and I'm gonna read it out loud.
Ah, yes. Mm-hmm.
So this is Barstool A&M. This is their tweet. The AP poll is ridiculous. How did we cause Miami to move down 12 spots, but we only move up one? Makes no sense. Should be ranked in the top 20. Screw the rankings.
I'm
Just
gonna
go
give
out
you-
and win.
I'm going to give you my actual answer, like scholarly answer, and then I'm going to give you my personal answer.
I'm ready.
Scholarly answer is because if you see a team like Miami that's at number 12 and they move down 12 points, do you know why that is? It's because everyone that put them at 12 thought they had to put them at 12 just because of the we talked about a little bit the media darling narrative. They're trying to get Miami to be a media darling because it used to be like a big spot for recruits and stuff. No, not now. They haven't seen success in like 40 years. That's the scholarly answer, okay? They did it because they had to. And now that they know that they're exposed, losing to a bad team like A&M, they say, okay, you had your time in the sun. It's over, okay? Now here's my personal answer. It's because they suck. They suck.
And let me go down to someone's response. It's a invest_steady responded and said, "Look, man, I bleed maroon, but we do not look good. Our offense, oh, I can't even talk. You know, you made me laugh when you said you suck
Well,
because it's not. I mean, it's not far from. They don't suck. They're having issues.
they're not a top 15 team.
We'll see later in the year.
I'm sorry. They have
Okay,
not
let me
shown anything.
finish.
Okay, finish.
Our offense is still struggling, and we still lost to App State. Right, steady. Invest steady. Right. Not right.
Let me give you some scores from the SEC because I'm sick and tired of the SEC running away as the best conference narrative. It's closer than a lot of people think.
Intermission hack.
Oh, okay, right. Here, I'll double mic it. It's okay.
Oh, no,
I'll get sick. Can you hear me better now?
I'm fine now.
Okay. We already said Texas A&M lost 17-9. By the way, some people mock them winning the SEC West. By the way, just saying.
It was a great bounce back win. They needed it. They beat the number 13 team. Okay, moved up one spot. That was deserved. Now they have to beat better teams to climb even further. Now,
moving forward,
yes,
Florida, a team that beat a top 10 team week 1, an overrated top 10 week 1 team, by the way. Sorry, Utah. Number 18, Florida beat South Florida 31-28, a team in which South Florida was winning for most of the game. I'm not saying that people mocked Florida high, but everyone was real high on Florida when they had just beaten Utah in week 1. Oh, by the way, do you remember the week 2 bet that I ended up winning? It was Florida and Kentucky. Just saying. Okay. Number 10, Arkansas struggled. By the way, I preface this by saying I am high on Arkansas, and I still am, by the way. But they struggled with Missouri State, a team who was winning for most of the game, 38-27. That was the final score. But I mean, listen, that's an 11-point victory. It was a lot closer than what the score leads you to believe. Penn State. Let's talk about Penn State because I'm a man. Okay, I'm a man. I'm almost 24 years old. I can admit when I'm wrong. I was wrong about Penn State. Penn State was unranked coming into this season, into this college football season, and they have surprised me massively. They've beaten Purdue, a team who just last year has beaten ranked teams, and they had a big test. I'm not going to lie. If I would have bet on this Penn State-Auburn game that happened yesterday, I would have lost money, okay? 22 Penn State visits Auburn. Wallops the Tigers, 41-12. At Auburn. That is no little feat. Or should I say, that's no little feat that some people would want you to believe in SEC circles because the SEC is so dominant. And then let's get to Georgia, South Carolina, because I know you wanted to say some things about this.
Yes. Go ahead. I'm going to log into a chat.
Yeah. But, so Georgia walloped South Carolina 48-7. Stetson Bennett might actually be a guy. I didn't doubt that he was a guy, but he's definitely a guy. Definitely my leader in the Heisman race right now. But yeah, the whole thing about this SEC thing. Oh, sorry. I'll get better. But the whole thing about it, I'm just kind of sick and tired of it. You know, when you have a bunch of SEC teams playing conference, like when conference comes and they're playing each other, it's really easy to say like, oh, well, they're the best because, you know, you got teams that upset Alabama and Georgia every year in the SEC, so they must be just as good. It's just so tiring. I get it. They've been the best conference for years now, okay? But the gap is not as wide as you think, I promise. Okay. Sorry. That was my diatribe. If the bottom line from that is that the SEC is not as good as you think they are, at least not in the middle. The top is great.
Let's talk about Troy and App State.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Not a normal matchup that we would put on this. I put this on the spread for tonight's talk. I did it because I think it's. Drake didn't want to talk about it because he's sorry.
Now I know what you're doing, and you do things that I do. You're pushing agendas, okay? You only want to talk about App State because App State beat Texas A&M, and just because you think they won on a Hail Mary against 1-1 Troy, you think that somehow makes the loss better for you guys?
Oh no.
Hey, I have a word of advice for you. Grow up, get over yourself, be better.
3 lines that I'm going to get tattooed on my body one day. No, that's not why we're covering this game. If anybody watched Troy versus Appalachian State, it was in Boone. Great atmosphere. That was College Game Day. Because College Game Day, wasn't it?
Maybe.
I believe it was because there was a sign which disgusted me. It said the only thing that's missing from College Game Day is A&M. Because before A&M's loss to Appalachian State, College Game Day was going to pay them a visit for the A&M Miami game, I believe. I believe that's what it was.
Okay.
Anyway, that's besides the point. So the Troy versus Appalachian State game, both in the Sun Belt, they were both 1-1 going into this game. I thought personally it was extremely exciting, and here's why. Touchdown, 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 back and forth, and
Like Oprah. You get a touchdown. You get a touchdown. Everyone gets a touchdown.
you're right. So back and forth, back and forth. Troy is up by 2, and there are 2 seconds left in the game. Appalachian State has the ball. I want to say it's on the 50 or the 60. Didn't do much research on that part. 2 seconds left. Appalachian State Hail Marys it. I don't even know how far it was.
Far.
Really far. It's dropping, bounces off a Troy player. I don't even know if he wasn't looking, he wasn't aware, he was just not being smart. Bounces off a Troy player. Appalachian State player picks it up, scoops it, just runs right into the end zone. No resistance. Win just like that. How often do you see a win being just handed?
Oh, well. Well,
Well,
they
how
were up.
often?
I mean, they were up all game. I mean, they didn't hand them
they were up, and then Troy was up in the first quarter, and then it was back and forth. They exchanged. They were tied at one point, 21-21.
I'll just say this. I don't think they're going to be celebrating in Boone this victory as much as they did last week.
Well, I mean,
That's all I'm going to say.
right. Because you know why? Because the other weekend,
Because we have
played
created
A&M.
because the media has created a narrative that Texas A&M is worthy every year of a college football playoff, something that they haven't made since it was incepted in 2014. Listen. I told you I was going to be nice, and I'm being nice, okay? There are a lot of other things I could be saying right now, but I'm not going to, okay? Who knows who could be watching?
the show does turn into an OU love fest, and then
I have not said a word about OU since the roundup of OU.
I mean, we're gonna play in highlight, and you're probably gonna be like, "Listen,
Let's get to the rest of these games real quick because we're still in segment 1. I think it's funny. These are Kansas football, not basketball. Kansas is undefeated right now. Kansas,
shocking."
the Jayhawks are undefeated right now. They're playing Duke on Saturday, who is also undefeated. This is not a Final Four matchup, people. A national championship matchup, people. No. This is football. Football. They're both 3-0. And it's a travesty that College Game Day is not going to that game. You know what game they picked instead? Tennessee and Florida. And I guarantee you they would not be picking that game if Florida... Two things. If Florida didn't beat Utah, they wouldn't be going there. Tennessee, a team that I thought was underrated, a team that wasn't in the AP Top 25 before the season, 3-0, just saying. Josh Heupel, shout out, former OU quarterback. But yeah, so let me just give you some scores on some teams that are surprisingly still undefeated 3-0. Iowa State, a team that I have in the bottom half of my Big 12 rankings at the end of the day, beat Ohio 43-10. Kansas beat Houston, a team that was ranked 24th in the preseason poll. Walloped them 48-30, won by 18. Indiana, another predominantly basketball school, beat Western Kentucky 33-30. Minnesota killed Colorado 49-7. Minnesota, I'm saying it right now. Hey, look at me in my eyes. Minnesota, Big Ten West. Think about it. Duke killed North Carolina A&T. And Washington, a team that was unranked but is now ranked, beat number 11 Michigan State 39-28. Washington, a team that has made the college football playoff before. That's the one that people don't remember. It was from 2015. And then because we do have some resident OSU fans. I'm going to talk a little bit more about OSU in our AP poll segment because it's important, but OSU killed Arkansas Pine Bluff 63-7. And finally, K-State, a team that OU plays next week, lost to Tulane. Got upset by Tulane 17-10. K-State, a team that I picked as a dark horse to win the Big 12. If OU didn't win, of course. The whole Big 12 sweepstakes are still up in the air. We haven't gotten to conference play yet. But yeah, That was my roundup.
Do you want to know something?
No.
We're at 40 minutes.
Good. That's why we had to hurry, because the AP and the Tom Brady segment aren't going to take as long as. You see that? It's not going to take as long as this. All right. So don't get your britches.
I've got
In a
the
wad.
I've got the AP poll. We don't need to go down the line.
We're just going straight into it. Okay, I love it. AP. Wait, we got it. No. We gotta do the thing. Yeah. Okay. So these teams, I told Julia, I sent her a picture of team logos with no context. And part of it is because we need to test her weekly on her knowledge of college football, but also because all of these teams have something in common. So, starting with the top left and reading like a book, Julia, do you know who that top left team is right there?
You know, this is
Come on. That one, you need to know that one. That one's
it's not Northwestern
no.
and it's not Notre Dame.
Nope.
I'm sorry, we don't pick.
It is one of our branches of armed forces.
Navy,
Good. Okay, moving on.
New Mexico State,
Okay. Top right.
Buffalo.
Ooh, good job.
I knew that one.
Okay, bottom left.
Oh, goodness gracious. I mean, it's a ram.
This is going in the highlights. I can already tell.
Can I get a
This has a point, but I
Can I
need you
get
to
a
I need you to
hint?
finish the game. You did it. Yeah, I mean, they're the Rams, but where are they from?
give me a state? I wouldn't guess this.
Colorado
Oh.
State. That's Colorado State because the bottom middle is Colorado.
Well, I got that one, Colorado.
How about bottom right?
I feel like I'm being exposed for something I didn't do. Not sure.
I'm just keeping you on your toes. You got to have a refresher.
Enlighten me.
All
Who-
that hot sauce going to go to your brain, maybe lose a couple of brain cells. That is Georgia State. These 6 teams in front of you are the remaining FBS teams that haven't won a game yet.
Yikes.
It was just a little transition into the AP poll because the AP poll are full of teams that have won games.
So are they 0-3, all of them?
Or 0-2. I mean, some of them may have had buys already. I don't know.
Goodness.
Okay, you can take that off. I've had my fun. I've had my bully time for tonight.
Right.
Okay, AP poll. I have some things. I have thoughts about the AP poll. I have some teams pulled up. Would you like to go over the top 10 while I get my things ready?
Of course. Top 10 in this particular order. Georgia at 1, Alabama at 2, Ohio State at 3. Those are not shockers, by the way. Michigan at 4, Clemson at 5, OU at 6, USC at 7.
Big pause there. It's
Oh.
it's almost like you don't agree with that placement, but keep going.
Did you notice that?
Keep
I
going.
didn't do that.
Just keep going.
Kentucky at 8, OSU at 9, and Arkansas at number 10.
I have thoughts. Is there anything that is very predominant in your mind right now? Because there are a couple things that are funny to me about the AP poll. Because in the end, it doesn't matter, but
Right.
we can make fun of it until it actually doesn't actually matter.
I guess my biggest thing is the top 3, so Georgia, Alabama, and then Ohio State. That's downright deserved. Georgia will be the number 1 team until Alabama proves them wrong, which I don't see that happening this season. I'm not really sure. That's up for grabs. Ohio State, number 3, deserved, yes. Michigan,
Cupcake schedule.
that's exactly what I was thinking.
Well, with the emergence of Minnesota's undefeated so far, and Minnesota. Listen, I mean, they're usually like 20s-ish ranked by the end of the year. I mean, it's not an easy place to go and play, is what I'm saying. Those Golden Gophers, man, they'll get you. They'll get you. Okay. Can I say something?
Let's
or are you
just
done
get
yet?
let's get the overarching theme here. I think there's one thing that we both agree on for once that needs to be pointed out because we're kind of running out of time here, but I think this matters.
Okay.
This, like I'm pointing at it.
Oh, the USC.
Oh.
Listen, we brought it up last week in last week's show, right? I made the case that the media is turning to USC as the new media darling of college football, and that's because they have a storied past. They've done the same thing with Texas multiple years. Sorry, Nathan. You know it. Hey, Nathan. You know it's true, okay? I don't want to hear it, all right? Media darlings, Texas. There's a new face in town. There's a new fake face. It's USC. They played Fresno State last night. I thought Fresno State had a pretty good chance to cover, but their starting quarterback, went down in the second quarter, and they just never could really get anything going on the defensive end against.
Would we?
Who is we? Me and you?
You and I, would we attribute that to their loss? Do we think that Fresno State could have
I
pulled out a
think
win?
Fresno State would have put up more points because USC's defense wasn't doing much either.
See, I didn't get to watch that game.
Yeah, it was a late one. It was a 9:30 start. I was up. I was doing my job for you guys at 1 a.m. Last night or this morning, I guess. So just set that one to the side. Where were you at 1 a.m. last night? Hey, let's ask the real questions in this show. Let's ask the real ones. Okay. Here's the fun thing. Here's the fun thing for me. Florida, Miami, Florida State. Julia, can you tell me which one of those teams is undefeated and which one of those teams is not in the top 25?
Can you repeat them?
Florida, Miami, Florida State.
Florida and Miami are both in the top 25. Florida State is not.
Yes. Do you know which one of those teams is undefeated?
God, I think you've stooped me.
Angie! Best dang band in the land. You're darn right, sister.
Darn tootin', sister.
You're darn tootin'. Thank you for
Okay.
asterisking your cuss word, by the way, Angie. I appreciate you more than you
Here,
know.
we'll just go ahead and do it for her.
Right.
Miami's not undefeated. They lost to A&M last night. We'll get that one.
Florida State's undefeated. Florida State is 3-0.
But who have they played, Drake?
It doesn't matter. They've beaten LSU, a team.
LSU not ranked.
Right, I know. LSU is an SEC Power 5 school, which also helps in my little case against the SEC, by the way. It helps.
I think LSU has come and gone. They were up there years prior, and now it's time for new people.
Okay.
People meaning Georgia.
I'll
stand by Georgia.
This is why the AP poll is dumb, because I know it's just a bunch of writers who end up going to the games for the teams that they cover, and they end up not watching 1 second of any other game. Okay, like I get it. Okay, we're trying to commit hype until week 8 when the first college football playoff ranking comes out, the official one. But listen, I know a lot of these people are just going up to the games so they can get their pictures taken and they can do their jobs, and they're not seeing what else is happening. You know who is seeing what else is happening? Me. I am.
That was so uncue. You think they just show up to the game, watch that one game, write it down, leave, and then just disregard every other game?
Well, what happens about let's just take the OU Nebraska game, for example. If I'm a journalist going to cover the OU Nebraska game and it's at 11 a.m., what happens when like a third of all the other games that are happening today are played at 1 a.m.? I mean, really. You can get tweets from everyone else. You can get highlights. If you don't see like the goings on and the patterns that are happening in the game.
I just had an idea.
Oh, no.
You know who they should hire?
Who is they? I need to know who you have said
AP
they.
poll committee.
Who should they
Oh,
hire?
there it comes. There it goes. The voice. They should hire us.
Well,
I feel like we're invested enough to add some content.
okay. Let me add a couple more things on the AP poll. I just thought it was funny because I'm not a big fan of Florida anything. So Florida State being unranked was funny to me, even though they're the only people that have gone undefeated thus far. Clemson in front of OU. Okay, let me take a few seconds here. Clemson struggled in the first half against a Louisiana Tech team that's unranked and is now 1-2. Struggled against a Georgia Tech team in week 1 that hasn't won a game yet this year. I believe they may have won one game, but it's just interesting to me. Is this a Dabo Sweeney play? Like, we trust in Dabo, so we're going to keep him at 5?
Did you say Dabo Sweeney?
Yeah, the coach for Clemson.
Yeah.
Oh,
Here.
good.
Look at this. We're gonna get it on hopefully loop.
So you're telling me the AP poll took a look at this video and they said, "My God, this man is going to lead his team to another natty this year because he stayed in shape in the offseason. Hey, Dabo, guess what? I don't care that you ran out, 100 yards in front of your team It doesn't prove anything to me. How about you beat Louisiana Tech in 4 straight quarters of football? Hey, and then we can talk. All right?
The dude was Jets. I'd like to know his 40 time. In fact, we'll put him up against Brent Venables, and who else would you pick that you think would be in shape enough to
I would put
outrun
BV.
Dabo?
I would put BV up there. I've seen videos of him running the stadium steps.
What about Van Gundy? Would you put him up there?
Van Gundy? You're thinking basketball.
Not Van Gundy.
You mean just regular Gundy? You see, there's many Gundys in the sports world.
Gundy.
She just referred to the one that was actually not in shape. Old Stan. He'll get you, man.
That
He'll beat you in a hot dog eating contest, though.
he will.
The glizzy the glizzy contest.
All right.
Yeah. And then just a couple of additions we already talked about at Washington Inn. I'm excited for them because they end up playing USC. Wasn't expecting much from Washington this year, and the biggest surprise out of all of this, Penn State, after killing Auburn at Auburn, is up to 14. That's 8 spots. Penn State, a team that was not ranked in the top 25 initially. I didn't have them in my top 25 either. I just had no idea how the whole Sean Clifford situation was going to play out. The guy's like 30 years old at this point. But good for Penn State, honestly.
Right.
But I mean, they kind of have a tough schedule going forward. We'll talk about that another time. For right now, props to you, Penn State, for outdoing the lowest of bars.
All right. Since you didn't give me any time to do my segment of the show.
You mean Tom Brady? We can talk about it a little bit. We went 1 hour and 10 minutes with no video interruption. Remember that.
You're right.
We're at 50,
You're right.
We're at 50 minutes right now, boo. We're doing all right.
All right. Just a couple of housekeeping.
What's going on with Tom Brady? Huh?
So we talked about good old Tommy, beautiful Tommy
Is it
Brady.
another facelift?
Listen. So we already talked about Tommy's. I don't want to. What would you call it? Because we don't actually know if he got plastic surgery.
It's a facelift. We've talked about this. We talked about it week 1.
Oh, I saw tweets about actual plastic surgery.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised.
Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put this picture up. So I think we've covered this before, but we're covering it again because some new allegations have surfaced recently within the week. So, as we all know, Tom Brady, arguably the GOAT in quarterback.
Not arguably, he is. Keep going.
Okay, good.
Keep going.
He is the GOAT
Keep going.
of quarterback history in the NFL. He's married to supermodel Gisele Bündchen, has 3 beautiful children. He recently retired. He was going to have a sports analyst position, I think he was going to make more money than he was playing football.
Okay.
Don't quote. I did see that, though. They were going to give him a ton of money just to retire so he could talk about football in an air-conditioned room. Gisele Bündchen also makes a lot of money. I think she's the highest. I don't want to quote that either. I think she's up there with the highest paid supermodels.
Okay.
Are you getting focus?
Yeah, I'm
Good awareness.
Listen, this is your segment. I'm just here making sure everything else goes silent. Crazy.
So there were some recent rumors, allegations, stories. Could be factual information. We don't really know for sure. There's just TMZ along with SportsCenter, along with every news outlet kind of conjoining on this story. Essentially, they've been living in separate households. Shocker, because this has probably been the most unproblematic couple that I've seen in a while. You know, those unproblematic couples in sports, in just the regular
My
star
vote
world.
for most unproblematic couple would be Kim K and Kanye. I don't ever see anything with them in the headlines.
I agree with you.
Continue. Sorry.
So Tom Brady took an 11-day break from training camp. And so before then, he looked like Tom Brady usually looks. And then when he returned, cough break.
We don't have a cough button. We have this, though.
Will really get you. Tom Brady returned and looked like that. Now, allegations of a facelift, plastic surgery, maybe he was doing a lot of jaw exercise. We don't really know. But Tom Brady was going through it. Maybe he wasn't. We're not exactly sure. But essentially, Gisele had an interview with one of the news outlets, and she had said that she had wanted her husband to take a break from football. So when she had heard that he was going to retire to spend more time with his family, and he's 45 years old, so the sport is kind of getting to the man. Not really. I mean, he looks great. He just had, I think that was that his third game today against the Saints?
I mean, he looks great. I mean, he looks like a ghost. No wonder.
I
his
mean,
kids
from
are
the neck down, he looks great.
his kids are probably scared to death of him. Honestly, I would be. Probably think he's Casper or something.
So essentially, she claims that, quote, she said, this is a very violent sport, and I have my children and would like him to be more present. So his retiring really eased her mind, calmed her nerves. Great, we get to have a family again. But in his recent interview when he returned from training camp, and people asked, why did you take an 11-day leave of absence? Quote, Tom Brady, I'm 45 years old. There's a lot of going on.
Ah, good.
So you can think what you want. I thought this was the most unproblematic, beautiful couple, family, had it all going for them. Gisele Bündchen. Hey, what are your thoughts on Gisele Bündchen? Do you even know who she is, Drake?
Tom Brady's wife? Yeah, I have a conspiracy actually of this whole
do
matter.
you? Please
Yeah.
enlighten us.
I think Tom Brady is hiding about 10 counts of domestic abuse charges. Mm-hmm. And wait, listen, we're kind of backed up in the show here, so I can't really get into it. We should do a side conspiracy theory because I think Tom Brady might be like a mule for like the cartel in Colombia as well. But I think that the domestic charges are actually more likely. There have been a lot of domestic abuse things going around major sports leagues in the past couple of months. I think Tom Brady might be the head of that. But that's for another day. That's for another show.
What an outright
If you guys know any conspiracy sports theory podcasts, talk to me. Give me to those people because you don't get a facelift. As good looking as he is, you don't just get a facelift thinking you need work. You need help. It's compensating for something. Did you see he's been a bit angrier on the field as well. I'm telling you, you look at me like I'm crazy. And then he lifts a hand. He throws tablets like they're nothing.
Well, that wasn't his only tablet that he's thrown in his career. He
You
did.
don't think
that.
he's raised his hand in anger at Gisele?
God, we're getting very vocal on this subject. We're gonna shut it down. But anyway, yeah, think what you want about the whole Tom Brady Gisele situation. We're gonna move on to
The outro?
no. We've still got the video dump.
Oh, I forgot to put the dump down. I love big dumps. Let's get to the dump. To the dump.
We've got one more segment after that.
The outro.
My Jalen Watson story.
Oh.
Here,
Let's just yeah.
we'll save
let's
it.
just
Here, let me just give a little spiel. We're going to be covering a very sentimental story. I know we don't cover a lot of sentimental things on the show. We're very outright, blunt. We do a lot of attacking on the show, and by we, I mean Drake.
we're good people.
I kind of just sit back and listen. I don't like to partake in that behavior. But anyway, we're going to save a very sentimental and inspiring story for next episode. Spoiler, it's not the last episode. Joke's on you.
They can't see your face. Because of
Because
Tom Brady's
of Tom.
face.
Good old Tom. We're going to just hide you there, buddy. All right. Introducing the Shoot Your
Nathan.
Shot podcast video dump every show. All right.
Big dump.
Here we go,
Oh.
Drake. This is when... Yes, this is an OU play.
Oh,
Over
I didn't know we
Nebraska.
ended up doing this. It was just a highlight, but that's something that a couple of people have reached out and be like, "Hey, you guys don't do highlights," and I was like, "Well, we're not a highlight show."
Well, but this
And then
is,
they-
this
and then
is
they-
one. This is one I think was worthy.
And you know what they say? You know what those people say after I tell them we're not a highlight show? They don't say anything because they're like, "Oh." I'm like, "I'm sorry. Do you not understand the sports that we talk about? We only talk about like 3."
Well, that should change. So, okay, here we go. Basically,
It's Eric Gray, the running back for OU. Man cuts, makes a grown man miss, and then he just high steps into the end
do
zone.
you know he's a grown man? What if he's 19?
Grown man.
I hear teen
Nebraska,
in the word.
Nebraska might be a bunch of boys actually.
That's what I'm thinking.
But if they're from Nebraska, they're corn fed. I mean, they grow up faster than the average human.
Cone.
Okay, that was just a little. That was a feel good moment for
Right.
me.
Here's the Hail Mary that I was discussing earlier. Appalachian State versus Troy. 2 seconds left. Hail Mary for the win. Bounces off the Troy player. He picks it up, just waltzes in. And talk about the blocking from his teammate to the left. We don't know names, and we're not going to say positions.
It's good. It's good field awareness too. I mean,
No, it really
You got to
is.
know where you are on the field to know you got to run further.
And the
Good on
reaction
him for
time.
cutting to the edge as well.
The reaction time, knowing that the ball can't even see if it bounced off his hands, his helmet, his shoulder pads. Not really sure, but Appalachian State, another win in the books.
Yeah. Did you know they beat Texas A&M last week?
I did not know that. News to me. This is one of my favorites. So Notre Dame. So Drew Pine, quarterback for Notre Dame. This is Tommy Reese. Is he the offensive coordinator, quarterback coach? What is he?
OC.
Okay. So
Drew Pine is not. He must be is Drew.
is he the backup quarterback? He's
He's
got the play card on his hand, on his arm.
I think he's a starter. Listen, I don't really pay much
Well,
attention to
no
what
one
goes on
has.
up in South Bend.
No one has.
But Notre Dame was about to lose this game as well. They
Well-
barely scraped past. I can't even remember who they were
Well,
playing.
hence why Tommy Reese is lighting his ear up on the phone from the press box. I've been trying to decipher what he's saying.
Oh, I know. It's
What I thought.
yeah.
Anyway.
Great jerseys though. Love the green.
So Florida and UCF players got in a little scuffle and their helmets got stuck together. I've never seen this
Really?
happen.
Oh, that's cool.
So they had to get the trainer to come, or no, equipment guy, excuse me, had to bring his tools and come separate the two. Because God forbid you can't play if you can't get the helmets unstuck. God, I was looking for a word there. I was going to say unseparated, but I felt like that was a double negative, so that wouldn't have worked. All right.
Nice. Yeah, Florida almost lost that game.
That was it. I was going to play the Jalen Watson video, but we're running out of time.
Yeah, we
Pushing
kinda
an hour and 2
fine.
minutes. That's what we do on the show. We waste time, waste your time, and we just sit here and chat.
It's 30-minute out. It's 30-minute intros and a smidgen of actual content. That's what we do. That's
And
what we
I'm the
do.
actual content. Well,
Because
as far as the
listen,
visual.
Because listen, if it was just a CFB football show, and listen, it's going to turn into other things, but CFB is king right now. And if you don't like college football, then there's something like actually wrong
Well-
with you. I need you to go get checked out. But yeah,
We're going to get to the NFL, though. The NFL the season is starting.
the NFL is tough. If for those of you that are wondering why we don't
Well,
talk more NFL,
NFL
because
Sunday.
well, yeah, and I mean now that the schedule works, I mean there are games played on Monday. There's games being playing right now that like we're not going to just cover live. We
Right,
only
and
have
what we'll do, we might just give a little score update. If you're not watching, we might just help you out. Hey, Chargers are beating the Cardinals by a touchdown. There, that's your spiel.
no, the
That's it.
Cardinals came back and beat the Raiders today.
No, that's just an
I know.
So you were watching.
Well, it was when we were
You
getting
do
ready.
care about NFL.
Kyler Murray. I don't know if you know him.
Oh, didn't he
former
play
OU
at-
quarterback.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Heisman winner, no big deal. He came back and basically put the Cardinals on his back. Cardinals not off to a not great start, 1-1, but that team looked a little messy. Kyler saved them that game, but yeah, that's just a little reasoning as to why we do things the way we want to, and not not why we do things the way you want to, because it's our freaking show. Okay, get over yourself.
Oh,
Outro?
all right.
Okay.
The outro.
Well, it's been a good show. That first 45 went by real quick. We enjoy doing this for you guys. We really do. It's a lot of fun. Tell your friends about us. Seriously, we can't do anything subscription wise, which is like where the real fun begins, until we get at least 50 followers on Twitch. Twitch basically doesn't recognize you unless you have 50 followers. So yeah, and when we get to those 50, me and Julie have been talking about it. If we get to 50, if we get to 50 followers on Twitch, we're going to release our very first video we ever did together. And we're not talking about first videos in like of this show. You guys can see that right now on our socials. The socials, by the way, down there below in the overlays. We're talking about the very first video we ever made together, which was during our freshman year at Southern Nazarene University for a basic video production class. I'm not going to give you any more details other than that, because you're just going to have to tell your friends about us, and you're going to have to tell them to follow us at SYS Podcast on Twitch.
I will say you don't want to miss it because it was awful.
It's the worst. It might be the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
And-
It's so bad.
It's not in the sense of content. It's good and it's funny, but just the fact that we were in it together when we were freshmen, literal fetuses in the college world. I don't ever want to see that video again.
Huh. That fetuses in the college world. I'm gonna
You
write
know-
that down.
You've never heard,
I'm gonna.
you've never heard that be spoken. Hey, let's get to our bet because I
thought
really.
hold on. I thought we were doing the bet in the after party.
Oh,
Yeah, we're doing the bet in the after party.
that's fine by me because I haven't picked a team yet.
Right. And we're doing the bet in the after party not because we're doing the bet in the after party not because we're not ready.
No.
We're doing it because we have to save something for our lovely friends on Instagram who don't tune into us but want to see us on Instagram.
They would rather just wait, just to take the easy route and click on Instagram instead of getting a Twitch account. My grandma is going to get a Twitch account. And if she can get a Twitch account, you millennials and Gen Zers can get a Twitch
You
account.
mean us, Gen Zers?
Yeah, our friends. We have a Twitch account.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. That was good.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. So yeah, go tell your friends about us. We need 50 followers on Twitch. That is our first goal.
And
we're gonna
let's all bet who gets sick next. I think
I
it's
hope
your
it's
turn.
both. I hope it's both of us.
Wouldn't that
We
be
haven't had
awesome?
a double sickness before yet, but sounded like you need a little bit of a liquid death today. After hearing about your allergies, not a sponsor by the way yet. Not a sponsor yet.
Not yet.
But yeah, if you guys want to see a little bit more of us, we will be on live on Instagram in about 5 minutes. We got to figure out some bets to take. But for those of you who have watched us tonight at some point in the past hour and 7 minutes, we appreciate you more than you know. I'm Drake. That's Julia. This is the Shoot Your Shot podcast, and we will see you next Sunday.